My name is Morgan Adair, and from the title of this video, you know that I was an intern at NASA. Specifically, I was a 2019 summer intern at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, and I was brought on for a research project in atmospheric physics. I majored in astronomy at the University of Maryland, College Park, and my plan at the time was to do a PhD after undergrad. So that's the perspective from which I'll be speaking in this video, just so we're kind of all on the same page. I'm thinking I'm going to make a video about my specific internship experience in the future, but in this video I'm going to be explaining how you too can get an internship at NASA. So first I'll go over NASA's official requirements and explain the main application process and also a couple of possible alternative application processes, and then I'll impart some extra wisdom and advice based on feedback from my own experience as well as the experiences of some of my friends. So let's get the boring part out of the way first and talk about NASA's base eligibility requirements. This list is on their website, but real quick, you need to be a US citizen, have a cumulative GPA of at least 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, be at least 16 years old, be a full-time student, and if you're in undergrad or graduate school, you must be enrolled full-time in a degree-granting program at an accredited college or university, and it also says that educators are eligible to apply as well. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual process of applying. I'm going to start by showing you how to get to the main application online and then how to actually apply. And this is how I applied for my internship. Okay, so we are going to see how to apply for a NASA internship online. And the first thing you're going to want to do is, well, at least what has worked for me is if you just search in Google NASA intern, and this should be the first thing that pops up, so click that. And then you are applying for an internship, so you just click on internships here, and you are going to want to sign up. So I have made a fake account so that I don't give away all of my information, but we're just going to enter all of this. You're a student, or I mean, you could be an educator, but I'm going to assume you're a student. Age, we're 18 or over because we're in college. Okay, then go to your email. And we see we have an email from NASA. We're going to click the link. And you can read this whole consent statement. Click next. Wait for your screen to load, apparently. Okay, so new password. You're going to want to create a password, obviously. I'll just make one up right now. Hold on. Too weak. I wonder if that... Oh, it has to be 12 characters. My bad. So okay, cool. All right, so we just have to provide this information for our profile. My date of birth that I created for this fake person is March 29th, 2002. Address, I'm just gonna assume we're in the United States. Let's see. Just making this up. Illinois, zip code 60603, phone number, should be fine. Yes, actually, I might need to put my, no, that's fine. Okay, you're probably gonna wanna say yes to this, just to make sure you have every possible avenue of getting information about your possible internship. All right, gender, or female, ethnicity, do not wish to provide. You can obviously answer these differently. Veteran, I am not. Do I have a disability? I'm just gonna say do not wish to provide. Obviously you can choose how you want to answer these questions yourself. It doesn't really matter. I think sometimes they like to hire minorities, but obviously you do not want to lie. Do not lie on your application under any circumstances. And we're assuming we are US citizens. We live in the US. Applicant type, we are an undergrad in college. And let's say that we are a sophomore. My academic institution, I went to the University of Maryland, so we're just gonna say that Agnes here goes to the University of Maryland, College Park, which I did. So Agnes made a good choice there. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you're not lying and you meet all of these terms and conditions and you agree and all of that. Awesome, so we're now ready to apply and register for available opportunities. This website, in my opinion, is not the greatest, but we have to do what we have to do. So in order to apply for internships, we're going to go to explore opportunities. If you want to go over the information that you just entered, you can click this here. Stay connected. They have a bunch of social media for each center, and each center has multiple social media links and whatnot. So if you want to connect with them, this is where you would go, obviously. But we are applying for internships. So click here on internships. And I majored in astronomy. And so I'm just going to show you an example of applying for an astronomy internship. So I'm just going to search astronomy so that it kind of narrows down the opportunities here. Let's see. let's see. Okay, so Marshall Space Flight Center. Obviously, if you have a specific center that you would like to apply for, you can adjust this to show only that center, or you can just look and find in this list the center that you want, but I'm just gonna go with this because it's just an example. So Chandra X-ray data analysis support. Okay, so we're gonna wanna take a look at all of this. So US citizen, student, looks like it's virtual. You're going to want to read this description. So the intern will analyze and interpret Chandra X-ray and ancillary multi-wavelength data to support the ongoing extragalactic observation projects, such as galaxy clusters and AGN in deep surveys currently being undertaken by the MSFC X-ray group. Students with previous experience analyzing X-ray and gamma-ray astronomy data and/or the Python programming language are strongly encouraged to apply. Experience with Unix-like operating systems is also preferred. Okay, so since this is an example, I'm just going to go ahead and fill out the application for this opportunity. But in reality, what you want to do is take your time looking through possible internships and find ones that your skill set matches with, and like you're going to want to be interested in the project, and you're going to want to make sure your skills match up with the skills that they want, because then you'll have a much greater chance of getting an internship, obviously. Right, so we want to make sure that we look here at the skills that they are looking for. So Python, astrophysics software, numerical Python, AstroPy, and Unix shell. So say that we have this experience, right? I'm going to fill out the application. So we're going to click apply now. GPA, your GPA needs to be above 3.0 in the first place to even get this internship. Like I said before, my GPA was about a 3.7, but let's, and okay, so like I said before, you do not want to lie. Do not lie about your GPA. So let's just put in 3.5, okay? Just as an example. So institution name, you gotta put in your university. Again, University of Maryland, College Park. Date from 2020. Let's just say that, and we're still in college, so we don't have to fill that out. Major, let's say astronomy. And then for a minor, I minored in statistics, so Agnes here is gonna minor in statistics as well. Academic level, we are undergraduate sophomores. Do we have any additional educational institutions to add? No, we don't. Okay, enter any employment that you would like considered during the selection process. Volunteer and other experience can be captured in another section of the application. So this is purely for employment. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to fill this out right now. I'm just going to say I don't have any employment history at this time, but you are going to want to put in any employment history that you have. And in this primary responsibilities box, my recommendation to you would be to say how you specifically made a difference in your job. Use specific numbers if you can, use action words, and don't try to be as specific as possible. Avoid being vague. And then obviously you can click yes if you have any additional employment history to add. And also something else for this, if your experience has anything to do with this internship that you're applying for, you're going to want to include those keywords. So if you worked with Python, for example, or Unix, like you're going to want to put those words in this primary responsibilities box here, so that you can let them know that you have some previous experience. All right. Other experience, if you have any volunteer experience, like it says here, leadership positions, memberships in organizations, or other experience, any other relevant experience, definitely put it in here. Do not leave anything out. You want to, unless it's like really not applicable to this at all, you're going to want to put it in here. Volunteering looks really good. Leadership looks really good. Any teaching that you've done, that might be in the employment section. But if you have volunteered, teach, or like kind of freelanced, tutored before, you can put it here. And then obviously the same thing down here if you have any additional relevant experience to add. But like before, I'm just going to say I don't have any other experience because this is pretty self-explanatory, right? And same with this box here. You're going to want to make sure that you put any keywords that you think might help you out in the application, and also be specific, and basically the same advice as I gave before for employment. Transcripts. If your school does unofficial transcripts, you should totally put it on here, especially if your GPA, well, really, honestly, I think you should put it on there regardless. If your GPA is above 3.0, that means you're a pretty good student in the first place. And your transcript shows the classes that you've taken. So if you have taken classes that are related to anything that will be done in the internship, that will definitely help you out. Like before, I'm just going to say I do not have a transcript to upload because this is just an example. But if you did, let's just say we do, okay? You would click this, upload your transcript, and then if you had any more, you would say yes, etc. My bad. Can I go back? Oh. Shows how much I know. Resume, you're going to want to upload a resume. And yes, it's repetitive because you literally just put all of your experience in here, but like you're going to want to do this anyway to show that you really want this position. And your resume should be, similar to what you entered in the employment and, other sections, in terms of being specific and including keywords. You should make sure that your resume is reasonably tailored to the specific position that you're applying for, so that you have those specific keywords in your resume, because they have like computer scanning that they do, and basically if keywords do not show up, they like won't even look at your application, they'll just skip over it. So you want to have those keywords in your resume. And I would also suggest showing your resume to like a trusted professor or an advisor or something, and have them kind of like critique it to make sure it's the best that it can possibly be. So yes, you're going to want to upload a resume, and it's going to be the same as uploading a transcript, but I'm just going to say no because, you know, I'm just showing how this works. Skills. For skills, if you actually have the skills that were listed in the job posting, you're going to want to put those skills here. So let's say Python for computer skills. And then let's say Unix shell, that was in the description as well. So let's see here. Let's search astronomy. Let's say astronomy research, etc. And you can keep adding any skills. I would say, let's see, does writing count? Technical writing. That's definitely a good skill to have, something that I would at least put in the skills. If you have any like other relevant skills, like data analysis, for example, like let's see what they have for data analysis. Let's say we have spectral data analysis skills, right? Okay, so basically main idea is to make sure you put all of your relevant skills in here, but definitely put in the skills that were listed in the job posting if you have them. Like I said before, do not lie. Put the skills on there if you have them. Right? Okay, so we're gonna move on now. Obviously, if you speak another language, you're going to want to put that here, but for now we're going to skip that. Okay, internship interests. So why do you want a NASA internship? This is a very important box. Later in this video, I am going to go over some tips for your application, and those tips are things that you are going to want to apply here. And this box is going to be like, I can't tell you exactly what to write in this box because it's very individualized and depends on your specific situation, your interests, your goals for the future, your current goals, what you want to get out of the internship, etc. So this is very much something that you need to write yourself, but I will have some tips for you a little bit later to help you think about what to write. And again, like I said about the resume, I would encourage you to show what you're going to write to a professor or an advisor, someone who knows kind of what NASA would probably like to see, and have them critique it for you. So that is what I have to say about that box. Stay tuned for tips. Right now I'm just gonna put, because it's cool. Do not put that. That is very bad answer. How did I hear about NASA's internships? Obviously, you're going to want to choose the one or ones that are true for you, but I'm just going to choose that. Would you like to be considered for other internship openings? I would say definitely yes, you do. You do not want to, if you want an internship at NASA, you do not want to reduce your chances of getting an internship by only making your application available to the specific internships that you apply to. This is what happened with me. I applied to specific internships, but I ended up getting one that I did not actually directly apply to because the mentor saw my skills and thought that I would be a good fit. And so they offered me a spot. And I believe that this is basically a no-brainer. You would like to be considered for other internship openings. You can always say no if you get an offer that you don't want to take. What date range? I would say probably as soon as the semester ends. So maybe like May 25th or something like that, whenever your semester ends. Available until August 25th or something. We're just gonna assume this is a summer internship, right? So next, right? So review and submit. Obviously, you're gonna want to look at what you put in here, and you can see over here, you can add extra files if you would like to. If you have anything that is relevant, like if you've done research before, I would say that you would probably want to include that in any files. Anything that is relevant, you're going to want to include here. And you're just going to want to go over each of these things. Obviously, it says no employment history or other experience for me because I didn't enter any, but you should have things here. Your majors, you just want to make sure that it's correct. Languages, same deal. Skills, like I said, I'm just going to repeat it. You want to make sure that you put all of your relevant skills, but definitely any skills that you have that are listed in the job posting. Transcripts, you definitely want your transcript, like I said, but you can preview it here. All right, so we're good. We've reviewed. Click next. And all right, so you've submitted your application, and like it says up here, this is the kind of direction that it goes. So, you know, they'll look at your application and, you know, decide if they want to give you an offer, and you can decide if you want to accept it and or decline it, you know. And that's it. So that's how you apply for a NASA internship online directly. Now, there are a couple of ways to get NASA internships that I'm aware of that don't include applying directly online. The first is applying with contractors at various NASA centers, and the second is actually checking with professors and or advisors to see if they have any leads. You can do your own research on Google and Reddit on applying with contractors because I don't personally have experience with that and I don't want to say anything that's not true. As for checking with professors and advisors, I actually had an advisor forward along information from a NASA mentor who was looking for a mentee, so I was able to send over my resume and such through email. For me, it ended up that I received and accepted an offer from one of my online applications before this mentor got back to me with his offer. But the point is that if you're able to send your information directly to a mentor, you should do so because there will likely be a lot less competition that way. Okay, so now you know some ways to go about applying for a NASA internship. Next, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to maximize your chances of landing an offer and explain what I believe led to me receiving 2 offers in one cycle. One thing I do want to say up front is that while I don't think anyone would say that getting an internship at NASA is easy, it's much more accessible than you may think. It's nothing at all like the astronaut program where they accept less than 1% of applicants or whatever it is. However, there is essentially a 100% chance that your project will be pretty difficult, so you'll want to be mentally prepared for that and also be comfortable with asking for help when you need it. Regardless, the first tip to maximize your chance of getting an offer is to apply as early as possible, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just use the internet to look up when applications open for the internship period that you're looking at. Next, this is kind of a given, but you want your GPA to be as high as possible. And this is not to say that you need to have a 4.0. I've heard of people getting offers with sub 3.2 GPAs. The first more substantial tip that I have is that you should start getting involved in things both related to your major or area of interest and outside your major or area of interest as soon as possible. Examples of this include doing research with a professor, joining student clubs and or organizations, and getting any other kind of job. Related to doing research with a professor, I think it's helpful to have good relationships with your professors or lecturers because while letters of recommendation are not required, they may be able to give you leads, help out with your applications, or give you other kinds of advice. You'll also want to make sure that you actually have the skills listed on each internship that you apply for. Common skills required for research-related internships are programming, data analysis, math, statistics, writing and other communication, and background in the field of the internship. The final main piece of advice I have is that you're going to want to make sure that you use keywords in your resume and throughout your entire application so that your application passes the initial computer screening as I explained before. So that's that. That's how you can apply for NASA internships. We went over the base eligibility requirements, looked at the main online application process, and discussed alternative ways of applying. And I gave you some extra advice for gaining relevant experience and filling out your application. I know that this is a very long, difficult, and complicated process, so please do ask questions in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you in the next one.